At ease, brothers. Men, what if I told you that you had the ability to predict your own future? You have the ability to predict your own future. How, copy? In other words, did you hear what I said? You have the ability to predict your own future. And I'm not talking about in some, let's call Miss Cleo, or let's look at the stars, or let's call this astrologer, or what's your sign. I'm not talking about like that. I'm not even talking about, the great words of the late and great brother Neville Goddard when he talked about, hey, if a man can just control his mood. Powerful words. If a man can control his mood, he can prophesy his own life. That's some heavy information, brothers. I'm talking about something a little bit more deeper than that, bro. I'm talking about something, man, where a man can just pause in life, take a few moments, and predict his own outcome. Predict where he will be in the next week. Predict where he will be in the next year, the next 10 years, without fail. Predict your own future, brothers. I always say, man, that a man must know certain things in life. Like if he's going to wake up and do anything every day, he must know these things. He must know who he is. He must know where he's going. He must know what his truth is, right? But that isn't to say that a man is just supposed to pack up his spiritual bag and go on this spiritual journey without ever taking a break. Even in the book, A Singular Truth, man, I said, bro, a man must have rally points in his life. While he's traveling the journey of life, he must have places, points in life where he stops and observes his surroundings. It's a must. Like, how does he know he's still on course if he doesn't? How does he know he's not going in circles for 100 years if he doesn't? So a man must take rally points. And again, sometimes this rally point might be just a 5-minute sit down. It could be a week off of work. It might just be a whole month hiatus of you saying, let me just sit back and reflect. It's a must. But the way you can predict your future, brothers, is really understanding the power, understanding the power of the 72-hour sphere that surrounds you. Don't Google it. Don't Google it. It's not there. Nobody's ever talked about this. This is a soul thing. This is something I observed a long time ago. You could predict your own future, brothers, if you understand the 72-hour sphere that surrounds you. And that 72-hour sphere consists of the 24 hours behind you and the 48 hours in front of you. In other words, what you've done in the last 24 hours and what your game plan is in the next 48. That data right there, brothers, is game changing. If a man is honest with himself, that data right there, man, will tell you exactly where you will land. I picked this up from the military, brothers. 97, when I joined the military, man, I couldn't read a map. I didn't know nothing about no grid coordinates. I didn't understand none of that stuff, bro. And when I went to PLDC, man, or basic, I can't remember. I remember them teaching me how to read a map, how to observe, 4, 6, 8-digit coordinates, 10-digit coordinates, how to find my land markers, and without Google, without a cell phone, get from point A to point B anywhere on the planet. Like if you drop me in the middle of the woods with a map and a compass, brother, I can get anywhere I need to get. I'll figure it out. You know what I'm saying? But this is what I observed, man. Once they gave us our directions, once they gave us where where they wanted us to go, and we would sit there and get our landmarks and look at the big trees, look at the hills, look at the inclines, look at the water towers, whatever it was, getting our position, understanding where we were, calibrating ourselves. A soldier just doesn't pick his rucksack up and just go to that destination. You don't just pick up and get to walking, bro. That's the most dangerous thing you can do. At some point, man must stop. At some point, they trained us to stop, man. A man must stop it and observe his surroundings. Look at this map. Say, yeah, I see the mountain to the right of me. I see the train tracks to the left of me. I kind of see where I am. What a man must do is turn around and look behind him. Look at his map. Look behind him. Yeah, I see where I was going. Now let me turn back around and look in front of me. Make sure my landmarks are still good. And then he commences. Brother, that's the hack. It lets you know exactly where you're going. So when a man does that, when a man looks behind him at his last few paces, look at the next, 2 times paces in front of him. Brother, he can predict where he will end up. He can predict it. Before even getting there, he can say, you know what? If I just keep doing exactly what I'm doing, I'm going to end up at this exact spot on the map. There is no way around it. There is no other outcome. That's how exact that 72-hour sphere is around you, bro. I've always said, man, that life is a recipe, man. I've been saying that for 4 or 5 years now. For y'all that haven't seen the recipe, shameless plug. I've been saying that for years. Like, life is a recipe. This same thing applies to life's recipe. Lynn was cooking me some, I don't know what these things are called, man. Like some kind of peanut butter special brownies. There's something special about these cookies or something she was making. And she was in the kitchen the other day, man. First off, Lynn told me to give y'all brothers a shout out. She said, make sure when you make another video, tell the brothers I said thank you for showing me so much love. We went live last night, man. Had a good conversation, man. We had some good chops, some good. If you missed it, man, I might repost that thing. But anyway, Lynn was making these cookies, man, and she had this recipe. She was looking on a tablet or whatever. And as she's making this recipe, man, that she's made 100 times, right? She has all these ingredients out, all these chocolates and stuff on the table, man, and she's mixing this stuff and she's stirring, she's mixing, she's stirring. She got about 25-30% of the way, man, and she just stopped. Made it 1 million times and just stopped and surveyed the whole table and was going through her ingredients list. And she was like, I put this in, check, 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 and this is what I have left. Boom, 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 boom. Now let me get back to it. When you live your life like that, it's like, I know exactly what the outcome is going to be. I recalibrate. I've observed my current scene, my current surroundings. I've looked behind me, make sure I'm on track, and I've looked and seen where I'm going. Brother, you can't fail. But again, it takes a man being honest with himself. Honest with himself. So I got one question, brothers. I got one question. What did you do yesterday? What did you do yesterday, brothers? In other words, did you stick to your plans? Did you stick to your guns? That agenda you had written down in your pamphlet, those notes you had on your computer from the day before, did you stick to it? In other words, when you said, I'm going to wake up at 0:30 and go to the gym, did you do it? Did you do it? When you said, hey, I'm going to eat clean tomorrow. I'm going to eat low-fat foods. I'm going to eat all fruits and vegetables tomorrow. I'm going to read tomorrow for 1 hour. I'm going to meditate for 15 minutes tomorrow. I'm going to call my mom and tell her, hey, your mom, you've been special to me. I'm going to do all these things. Because I've always said, brothers, you can write your own prescription. You can write your own recipe. Like, in other words, if we want to get to point Z, we can write down exactly what it will take. We can create the perfect person the perfect person on paper to get to that landmark. We can do that. So what I'm asking you, yesterday, did you follow your own notes? I'll wait. Did you follow your own notes, brothers? Did you do all the things you said you would do? And if not, why? Because if you didn't, surely goodness and mercy, you don't expect to end up on that X on your map. Surely goodness and mercy, if you wrote your own recipe and you didn't follow it, surely you don't think the cake is going to come out like you planned, do you? Surely you don't. Surely you don't. Surely you know if you didn't put bread, put butter and put the fruit in the mixture, if you didn't put the chocolate in there, Surely you don't think that the recipe that grandmama done passed down is gonna taste. Surely you don't think it's gonna taste just like that, bro. So why do we not factor that same thing in when we're talking about our own life? We know how to create our own outcome. We know how to write down a perfect plan. We know that if we follow it, we know that we'll end up in an exact destination. So did you do exactly what you said you were gonna do yesterday, brothers? Second question, and y'all know what it is. What does your 48-hour agenda look like? What's on your schedule for the next 2 days? Do you even have a schedule for the next 2 days? Because again, surely goodness and mercy. You can't be traveling the path of life with no compass, with no map in front of you and expect to land in a certain destination. Think about how easy this is, what I'm talking about. But think about how easy this is. It's not a matter of planning the perfect play. It's a matter of, are we following our own instructions, brothers? Are we running the play as called? I was just watching the play, the highlight. I can't think of the guy's name. I think it was the Saints quarterback, last play of the game or something like that. And they was in the victory formation, and they was supposed to just take a knee. And this brother handed it off to the running back and ran the touchdown. Had the whole field mad. Had the whole other team mad. News press conference was crazy because the brother called his own play. Right? Are you running the correct play, brothers? Or are you once you put that game plan in place, are you following it to a T? Because we have to understand, if we write the perfect play and follow to a T, brothers, we know where we're going. So what does your next 48 hours look like? What's on your calendar? In other words, what calls are you making tomorrow? What emails are you sending tomorrow? What videos are you making? What posts are you putting on social media tomorrow? What companies are you calling to try to get a sit down with them to sell your products tomorrow? And the list goes on. What things are you doing, brother? What things are in place? What's in place? Because if you look behind you and say, you know what, I'm following my recipe, and you look toward the front in the next 48 hours and say, you know what, I still have these perfect ingredients in place and that's where I'm going. Brother, you can predict your own outcome. So once those things are in place, man, there's only one thing left to do, brothers. Only one thing left to do. Get back up and keep marching, man. Get back up and keep marching. Once you look at your past, once you look at your future, once everything has checked out, once the recipe is being followed, you simply pick that rucksack back up, brothers, and keep on marching.